Hello guys and welcome back to a FIFA 13 Liverpool career mode episode number 8 I believe this one is, and it's a pretty nice episode we've got for you guys. Some important fixtures coming up. We have first of all Norwich in the Capital One Cup, then we have the Merseyside derby against Everton, and then we have another Europa League game against, I think it was Lockeren. So a few important games that are kind of must wins for me. I want to stay in both competitions, and obviously the game against Everton, that's just a must win just for pride's sake. But again, the Capital One Cup is just a fixture, a tournament that I use the opportunity to use my young players in. You see there I just put Butland on. I've got the likes of Zuma and Wisdom at the back in defence, and I make a few more changes as well just to get my key players rested for the big game against Everton, which is it's only a few days after, so a bit of fixture congestion means that you do need quite a strong squad, quite a big squad, if you want to, if you want to keep your squad at full fitness, which is vitally important. I wouldn't say it was that important a few years ago in FIFA to keep your squad fit, but certainly the recent, I'd say 3 or 4 years, players need to be fit if you want to get the best out of them. But we start off against Norwich, and it's a nice start with Fabio Barini just hitting a volley in from a really nice ball. I can't remember, I think it was from Walcott, but I can't be sure, it might have been Sterling. And he just volleys it into the net, making us 1-0 up in the 30th minute, and then a nice little chipped ball from Danny Sturridge, who I brought on as a substitute. He didn't actually start the game, and yes, he'll just nods it past the keeper, who I think is John Ruddy. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know why I show this replay so much. I think at the time I was on my phone, I apologise, so it kind of just ran, and I thought why not show it from all different angles. But just after that goal, I think it was just 5 minutes later, I think Grant Holt's the one that puts it past Jack Butland, who really should have done better there. The games I've been playing him, I've not been massively impressed, in all honesty, but I suppose that's never going to be the case with a young keeper who's only, I think he's only a 71, so it is important that he gets that experience, and whilst we're leading games he can go ahead and make those mistakes. Just not in the important ones, but as you can see we're through to the quarterfinals, and it looks like we'll be playing MK Dons, but I'm not actually sure it's going to pan out like that, as it doesn't quite work out how the tournament tree shows. It kind of randomises it a bit. But we get an injury to Fabio Barini, unfortunately. I think it's just a short-term one, but we do have to take him off the suspension. I think we put Sam Yesiel on. Pardon me. Sam Yesiel he's definitely a worthy replacement. As you saw, he got the goal there in that game against Norwich, as did Fabio Barini, of course. But for a young player, Sam Yesiel is really nice, and although he's only rated as 67, he has all the stats that you need to be a top striker. And I'm not going to sell him unless I get a genuinely serious offer for him. I'm thinking at least it's got to be near that £10 million mark for him. Otherwise, he's just a nice player to have in the squad. But we are coming up against Everton here, and we have a pretty fit squad. I think we did substitute Theo Walcott though. I think it ended up being Glenn Johnson who he brought on the right wing, who you might think it's a weird choice, but in my opinion Glenn Johnson's attacking attributes, they do kind of outweigh his defensive ones, so I thought why not put him on. And a bit of a sweaty goal here for Daniel Sturridge. The keeper should have done better, but he didn't quite palm it out. So it was a goal in the 8th minute, and we take the lead early on, which is always good, especially away from home at Goodison, which is a really difficult place to go. And just minutes later, Danny Sturridge, no sweatiness about that one, he just breaks through the defence and puts it away with his right foot. Another weak-footed goal, which is always nice to see players who aren't one-footed, which is certainly not the case with Daniel Sturridge, who just plays it to Raheem Sterling, and I think this is his first goal of the season. He just tucks it in that near post OP. He just tucks it in that near post to make it 3-0. I think that was his first goal of the season, I'm not quite sure, but it was a really nice finish from Raheem Sterling. So it made it 3-0, and it looks like that win was sealed, and it actually did end up 3-0 at the full-time whistle, meaning we pick up those vital 3 points if we want to continue doing well in the Barclays Premier League, which is definitely the case. And our next game is up in the Europa League, the Euro League game in the group stage against Sport Lockeren at home. Really should be a no-brainer. It's a must-win game. You had to be beating these lower European teams, especially at home, if you want to progress in this tournament, which Obviously, it's nowhere near the level that Champions League is at, but it's one that I want to win just for win's sake. And we actually start really well. Theo Walker puts a lovely ball in here, and look at this for a header from Suarez. Not known for his heading, but that's a really tidy finish, and we take the lead early on as expected. Recently, it's actually been the case where I seem to get a lot of early leads, but unfortunately I just can't keep those clean sheets. So I'm winning games, I'm taking early leads, but the clean sheets I just can't quite keep them. And Muriel there just sticking away another to make it 2-0. I've got an awful lot of that kind of goal recently, and it is mainly Danny Sturridge and Muriel that get these goals, where Sturridge will just cross it out from the left and Muriel has an easy tap in. And that was the case there, but we do concede a penalty somehow, and you're going to see that Pepe Reina does manage to get a hand to it here, but it's just too much power on it to actually stop it from going into the goal, which means we went in at half time 2-1, still in the lead. But again, that's what I mean by clean sheets, just silly mistakes like that. I fouled him in the box, which actually led to the penalty, so obviously I can't have any complaints about conceding there. But Danny Sturridge nicks it off the defender nicely and uses pace to get away from him, bagging his first goal of the game, I think it was, yeah. Meaning we had all three strikers on target with Suarez, Sturridge and Muriel. Yeah, Muriel. So that's always nice to see that your strikers are getting the goals which you desperately want them to be doing. And we get another free kick in a dangerous area. I don't know if you guys watched last episode, but Luis Suarez managed to tuck away a nice free kick. And look at that for another one. That's a really nice finish. I was saying last episode how I do tend to value my free kicks. I think it's important that you make the most out of these situations, and that's another really nice goal. Just bends it round the wall into that top right hand corner of the goal. Keeper had no chance. That's his second goal in as many episodes. I was going to say as many games, but obviously that's not the case. But we actually have a squad report coming up for you guys just to show you how the team's progressing, and it's progressing pretty nicely. There's a couple of players that I'd rather see a bit more growth from, but no complaints to be honest. And Pepe Reina, although not been quite on great form, he's actually grown 2. Micah Rich has proven to be a good buy. He's already grown 3, but that was completely expected when I bought him. Same is the case for Umbiwa, who's proven to be a really nice pacey defender, as is Mangala, although I think his passing game could be a lot better. He's given away a few passes that have led to goals recently, but that's something I'll sort out myself. Alaba didn't quite, he hasn't really been growing an awful lot. Belhanda the same, but Theo Walcott and Raheem Sterling have been growing pretty nicely. Luis Suarez is, he's in that 25-26 age, so he's not going to be growing too quickly, but the likes of Danny Sturridge and Muriel, as you just saw, growing very nicely indeed. And Muriel, I don't know if you guys saw there, if you haven't, just rewind, but he's actually grown all of his stats, which is like pretty rare. All of his stats have improved, which is nice to see. And then just these kind of bit part players, the reserve players. Again, Sama Diasil there growing by 3, which is very nice. I think he's going to be a real nice player for me. Jack Butland has actually gone up from a 71 to a 72, but none of the goalkeeping attributes has actually improved, which is a bit of a concern. All of his physical attributes have been improving, which is expected from like someone of his age, the 19-year-old mark. But it's a bit disappointing that none of their goalkeeping attributes have. But we get an offer from Denmark, but I just reject it. I don't really want to be taken up international management this season. But we've come to the end of the episode, guys, so if you have enjoyed, please do leave that like and hit the sub box. And until the next time, see ya!